Hey guys, it's Dominique. I'm super excited to finally be doing another tutorial for you guys. One of the most requested ones that I have had is a retouching video, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys how I do that. So the first thing that I do is, especially if I've already edited another photo from this session, is I go in and make sure these settings are exactly the same just so we can have some consistency in the photo. So this is the one I'm going to be retouching today. I have actually already edited the photo before. So let me just go ahead and set this up. Now if you're looking for a more detailed version of my editing and not just the retouching, I do have another one here on YouTube. If you just go ahead and look inside my videos. So first thing I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of editing the photo. I'm going to fast forward through this process really quickly. You can get a more detailed version of it, like I said in the other videos. But I also have a Photoshop action already set for this. The video that I showed you guys previously is not a Photoshop action. It is just me going ahead and showing you step by step. I just make the Photoshop action for myself so that this process of color correcting is much easier. So the next step that I do, and I will go ahead and link these Photoshop actions in the description below because these are not mine. They are Fashion Actions presets that you can purchase online, and this is the first step that I go ahead and do. So if you see right here, there's a couple of different ones for you to choose from. Since this is a portrait, I will go ahead and click this. I never usually use beauty portraits. However, you guys can play around and see which one you prefer the most. The model in this photo is Emma. This is my first time working with her, but she was absolutely great to work with. I'm going to go ahead and link her Instagram info below so that you guys can go ahead and check her out as well. Now, you do want to avoid the creases of things, and this is what it looks like before and after. You do want to make sure that you avoid any creases of like the lips or the eyes, because if you do, this is what happens. It just kind of blurs it out just a little bit, so you always want to make sure that you just touch up the skin, not any of the main areas like the lips, the nose, the eyes, all of those kinds of things. And especially with things like shoulder blades and all that kind of stuff, anything that is not just straight skin. So I'm going to go ahead and merge those layers. This is the first step in about a 3-step process of skin retouching that I do. So you see this process as well in the other videos. I believe it's just a little bit more fast forwarded in those. This just goes ahead and gives depth in the skin of the photo. Sorry guys if I'm just babbling or not making sense. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to let me know. I'm still fairly new to making these YouTube videos, but yeah, you know, just doing the best I can, living this life, editing these photos. Yeah, I'm basically just rambling at this point. But you do want to make sure that you're not overdoing it with these steps. See, it's just a little too much for my taste. I'm gonna bump that down to about 80. And that seems perfect. So the next step I'm gonna do is highlight. This does give the skin a clearer look, but also, like I said, just adds depth into the photo. And with the highlights, I like to go a little bit more detailed. I like to think of it as like doing makeup, almost kind of like you're contouring the face, um, which I guess actually is the reason why I can do both, I guess. I'm not gonna lie, I learned how to do my makeup from Photoshop. It is what it is. So I'm just gonna blend this out just a little bit so you don't have as harsh of a line from the highlight to the shadow. Because if you do, it can really make it look less natural. So I come in with the eraser at about 30-ish, and just go in and highlight that. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, if you ask any photographer, they'll probably tell you the same thing. The more subtle the adjustment, the better. So the last step that I do is basically I go in with a paint tool and I'm going to kind of perfect this just a little bit. With this photo, I probably actually wouldn't come in just because her skin already looks pretty great, but just for editing process, that's actually Emma right there. For the editing process, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. So a lot of the time, so what I'll do is I'll match with the skin that I'm about to paint over. I do go ahead and bring the opacity down to about 8% to 12%, somewhere in that range. This kind of just gets rid of any of the smaller detail of things. And you always want to make sure that your opacity is down really, really low, because if you don't, here, I'll go ahead and show you. Yeah, it would just happen like that. It would just look like you had like a line painted. Versus this is kind of like smoothing out the skin, so you can kind of see the difference here. It's a really, really subtle difference, and like I said before, those are the ones that kind of make your biggest differences whenever you're editing. And I'm just going to do this for example because I kind of feel like the shadow of her nose is a little bit too dark. If you feel like once you've passed up that step that you feel that way, oh, forgot to turn the opacity down again. If you do feel like you did do a little bit too much, you can always come in and soften it in this step as well. So if I see that there are any blemishes or anything like that in the photo, which Emma really doesn't have any, and sometimes the fashion actions will get rid of that as well. If there's any small blemishes, I'll usually take it out in this step, which she doesn't have any at all. So that is how I edit my photos. And I will go ahead and show you guys a before and after at the end of this photo, just so you can kind of see the difference in the skin retouching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I didn't confuse you guys too much. And if you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. Comment below anything that you guys would like to see in the future.